Hello, my name is Ersen'S Joseph. I am in my senior year in mechanical engineering at UMass Dartmouth. My research project is to use cloud computing tools to obtain high resolution satellite imagery of sea surface temperature, sea surface salinity, ocean currents. I'm doing all of that under the supervision of Dr. Tom Farrar from Hoso Oceanographic Institution, Dr. Amit Tandon from UMass Dartmouth, and Siddhant Kerhalkar from UMass Dartmouth. One of the questions that people usually ask is why it is important to study the ocean. We know by studying the ocean variables, it could help us to understand why we are affected by change in Earth environment, what factors are threatening the ocean and its marine life, or phenomena related to short-term weather or climate change that we are facing nowadays. And the objective of studying the ocean variables, the first part of this study was to use high resolution satellite imagery to obtain interesting features in the Bay of Bengal. The second part was to develop an ocean particle tracking numerical model. To begin with the first part of the study, I want to tell a brief history of satellite imagery. Before 1970s, it was very difficult to observe the ocean using ships and other measuring instruments. At the time, scientists could not obtain large-scale images. In order to view everything on a single image, satellite observation was necessary, and this was achieved in early 1980s. CSAT, as you can see these figures on the right, was the first satellite dedicated to oceanography. Sent to space in 1978, the mission was light only 110 days, but during that short period of time, CSAT collected more information about the oceans than had been acquired in the previous 100 years of shipboard research. Using satellite imagery, some of the variable we can measure is like sea surface temperature. We can measure like sea surface salinity, chlorophyll, wind speed, sea surface elevation, humidity, etc. While doing this study, one of the variables we observe is SST in the Bay of Bengal. Let us see first the video. This is a AMSA 2 microwave SST product from 2016. Alright, as we can observe, in the early winter, during the month of January, there are initially colder waters from the north because of the influence of the river water, which is colder than the ocean water. By the time of spring, the ocean heats up by at least 2 degrees Celsius. The heat leads to hurricane. This keeps going until the month of June. Between June to November, we can observe that the ocean cools and heats alternatively because of the monsoon. In this short movie, you will be able to observe the salinity in the Bay of Bengal. Initially, in the month of January, February, waters from the rivers mixing away. And also, you will be able to observe during the period of the monsoon, like June to November, there is nothing special to see in terms of salinity, except in September, we will see the same freshwater reappearing in the bay from the north. It is because of the monsoon rainfall and rivers runoff. Let's now play the video. this is a movie of ocean currents in the Bay of Bengal. You will be able to see that there is a lot of vortices in the Bay of Bengal, that the coastal currents flow southward from October to May. This will reverse from June to September, and this is because of the changing wind direction due to the monsoon. We will also observe eddies with high SSH, which is associated with clockwise motion, this, and eddies with low SSH is associated with anti-clockwise motion. Now let's play the video. Like I mentioned, so the edges are changing over the time, but you will be able to notice high SSH at the center associated with clockwise motion, and low SSH at the center associated with anti-clockwise motion. In this short movie, we merge the two previous videos to observe how freshwater movement can be related to the motion of currents and eddies. And you can see how the salinity is affected by the circulations of the ocean water. For the second part of this study, we develop an ocean particle tracking model and compare it to actual particle motion to have a better understanding on what can influence particle motion in the ocean. Basically, the method we use is to obtain U and V from the background geostrophic field from altimetry and use this equation with a fixed time spent. So we give an initial position to get a new position with progress in time. Similarly, we did the same thing for Y. In these two figures, the blue line is the actual drifter and the red is the numerical drifter. Using the particle tracking model, we can observe that sometimes the particles are generally able to follow the trajectory expected. The only thing is they might be slower or faster. For the actual drifter motion, we can see the influence of rings carrying them away from the streamlines. And possible reasons is that wing speed are greater than 10 meters per second, and also change in current speed or geostrophic currents also can influence the drifter's motion. To conclude, in this research project, we studied the evolution of sea surface temperature, sea surface salinity, and currents in the Bay of Bengal, and to see how monsoon could play a role in the evolution. In the second part, we developed a numerical model and compared to actual particle motion to understand the importance of ring in the motion. Thank you. For further questions, you can reach me by email.